Hello, everybody, and welcome to the NPBA Season 6 PRs for the Hoenn Division. My name is Will, and I am joined by the one and only
Cooper.
Bug.
Hello.
All right, so first of all, these rankings are all subjective, and any one of these teams has the potential to go all the way to the championship and do very well. So please know that we mean no negative intentions with any of our rankings and that it's our personal opinion. And if you have a low ranking, I hope that you prove us wrong.
And
With
also remember, if we say that you have a bad team and you end up winning the season, you get a prize.
Yeah, yeah,
And you
absolutely.
get
Um, all right. With all that being said, I think we're ready to jump on into the rankings. You agree?
yep, I'm ready.
All right. First off, we have the Jungle Gang. You wanna take this one?
I'll take the start of it. So the first four mods are insane. Dragon Vacation, Emo, Blisscore is just crazy. Weavile's insanely good just by itself. Blisscore Heatran is an amazing defensive core, even though it does lose to water types a bit. But Mega Blastoise is the fifth mon, which deals with that very well. Dragapult is just an insane offensive gun. It can do so much. It can go bulky substitute sets. It can go Dragon Dance. It can go Specs. It can even go Choice Scarf if you want. It can go Choice Band. It can just do so much. And it pairs super well with Weavile and
Hmm.
the Breathing Lift on the team and just comfy. It's just, I feel like the team supports it pretty well. You work on getting in Weavile and Dragapult a lot to just smack everything with slow pivots like Gliscor, Mega Blastoise, and then there's other things like Comfy that just naturally bring it in on Mon.
Hmm.
And then you also get extra points for the Comfy because that is my favorite Mon draft. So you get extra points there. One issue I have is you do kind of lose to fairy types. You have a 4 times resistance in Heatran and I guess Weezing, but Weezing isn't liking those special Moonblast hits.
Hmm.
And Heatran can be overwhelmed pretty easily. You don't have like a Wishmon or anything to keep it healthy, so that could be an issue. As three of your offensive mons actually are hit super effective by fairy, so that could be an issue to look out for. And then just as always, there always has to be a rock weakness on every team because it hits so many types.
Yeah.
Common types is every team seems to have a rock weakness that just is glaring out there. Your flying matchup is weird because it says neutral, but you really only have one resistance, and it's Heatran, which is blown back by any sort of fighting coverage. I mean, it has the fire immunity, so something like Mega Pidgeot that has Heat Wave isn't touching you, but anything else that has a fighting coverage,
Like a Staraptor.
yeah, like a Staraptor just smashes this team so hard. Your Goat Switchin is also a Weavile, so that's tricky. But other than that, your defenses are pretty damn good. You have a lot of good type matchups. The only real ones that are worrying are the fairy, flying, and ghost matchup. But I mean, other than that, it looks like a good team. You have good hazard control in Mega Blastoise being a great rapid spinner, Gliscor being a great defogger. You have two great stealth rockers, and then you have the option for toxic spikes if you really want it. You have good pivoting. You have the option for sticky webs. I mean, it looks like a good team. It's a solid team.
Yeah, absolutely agree. This is a very all around solid team.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, the only things you mainly touched on were the same issues I had with this team. The other thing is, I believe this only drafted 9 mons. One, two, three.
I don't know. What do you say?
Yeah, drafting 9. I like to see at least 10, just because it makes a lot of your matchups really a little bit easier. But outside of
It also
that, go ahead.
it also makes it so if you want to use a free agent trade, you don't have to downgrade something. You can just get rid of them on to upgrade something if you really need to.
Yeah, yeah, like yeah, yeah. If you had, you could like consolidate the points of 2 mons into one. Uh, which here you don't have the option to do that without using 2 free agency moves. But that's minor. That's a minor thing.
Yeah,
Um,
that's small.
Only other thing is while you have two great hazard setters in Heatran and Gliscor, those are your only two options. So let's say you did want to bring an offensive Gliscor and an offensive Heatran to a matchup, you wouldn't have the option for Stealth Rock. But again, that's just a uh, nitpicky thing. I think this team is really threatening offensively, especially. Um, but outside of those few defensive matchups, I think this is a great team.
It just has, I mean, the offensive stats with some of the mons are just really low with frags. The average that you see down the bottom there, like Weavile having 45 special attack, is just bad.
Yeah.
So then you look, and that has 120 attack. Dragonflight has 120 attack. It has 100 special attack. Like, the offense is just scary. Even the bulky mons have great offense, like Mega Blastoise and Heatran.
Yeah, I mean, you've got your two hardest special hitting mons are 130 and 135. And then you have two 120 attack mons. I mean, this is not a passive team in any way, even though those averages might not look it.
Even though those averages might say otherwise.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
Yeah, good team.
I'm ready to move on.
I mean, it looks good.
All right, ready to move on?
Yes, indeed.
All right, next team is the Winterfell-zation.
You can take this one.
Yeah, I'll take this one off the start. First pick being Ash Greninja. Yeah, I completely agree with that pick. In some of the divisions, it didn't even make it to pick number 2. But for me, the place where this team really comes together is the hazards. I think pairing Skarmory, Nidoqueen, Necrozma, um, even Glalie with spikes.
Ash Brent was actually no, you only
Yeah,
use toxic spikes.
yeah, you can only use toxic spikes. But yeah, that hazard chip and the pivoting chip between Darmanitan, Zarude, Electros. I think it's going to make getting kills on Greninja so much easier to just bring that to that next level. The other thing I really like about this team is it's not completely reliant on Ash Greninja offensively. I mean, you have Nidoqueen, even though it only has what base 85, no, 75 special attack, but Sheer Force Life Orb, that thing hits pretty dang hard. You've got Necrozma, which can be offensive. Zarude can be offensive. Mega Altaria, an incredibly offensive mon in the right situations. I've been swept by it before. Darmanitan, base 140 attack. I mean, yeah, this thing, I mean, the game plan seems pretty simple for me, set up the hazards with Skarmory or whatever you're doing that week, pivot around a little bit, chip things down, and then get a kill with Ash Greninja and sweep. I mean, I think it's a phenomenal team.
Not relying on getting that transformation it's great.
Yeah.
Like most teams I've seen that draft Ash Greninja sort of rely on that to carry their offense, but this one just doesn't, and it's amazing at that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
One thing I will say is outside of Nidoqueen, you have no Blast taker. Skarmory's not taking Blast. Darmanitan definitely isn't. So I mean, it's kind of just Nidoqueen. But I mean, that's fine. You have a big, healthy Wish Pasture with a low Mola. So,
yeah.
It works.
Yeah, I guess that's one issue. But really, outside of that, I mean, the speed tiers, something between 132 and 105. Wait, what's
not even 132, 122.
122. Actually, that's not as big a gap as I thought it was in that base form. But yeah, outside of that gap, the speed tiers are pretty solid.
Yeah.
I mean,
those 105, 95, 80, 79, 76, 70, 65. Don't even have anything below base speed.
Yeah, no, I think this is a really solid team. I like it a lot. Yeah. It's very similar to the way I would draft and I would play. With that, I'm ready to move on.
Oh. Yeah, I'm ready.
Next team. All right, next up is
this one.
All right, you go ahead.
This one is something.
Those first 3 picks, I mean.
Those first 3 are just insane. Darkrai, Mew, Scizor. Wow, especially since both of the last.
Hello? I think you're cutting out here. Or Pug? All right. Well, looks like I'll be alone for the next couple seconds until Bug gets back or the issue fixes itself. So I'll start talking about this team. Um, yeah, Darkrai Mew at pick three. I mean, Mew making it back to this spot in the draft is absolutely crazy. I mean, I noticed through all of the divisions Mew was going later, but I believe this is the latest Mew went. And Mew almost making it to pick to round three, rather, is just absolutely insane. Um, yeah, and then great pivoting with Scizor, Mienshao, Mew, even Moltres. Um, I mean, offensively, this team is a nightmare between base 170 attack, Mega Garchomp, base 130 attack, Scizor, base 125 and Mienshao, 135 special attack, even 120 special attack on Mega Garchomp. Um, nothing to ignore, nothing to joke about there. Um, and having every single type except for an ice type and a rock type. I mean, generally, you know, what's an ice type good for? It's good for dealing with flyings, grasses, and grounds. And you have ways of dealing with all of those things. Um, Grounds, I think, is the group that will be the toughest out of that, as you have Moltres and Rotom um, as your ground immunities there. And Moltres obviously not wanting to take any rock coverage moves, and Rotom not being the bulkiest thing in general. But then again, you have uh, Scizor. Hello, is Buggy back? Hello. All right, I'm gonna try refreshing Discord really quick. Sorry about this. Hello, hello, Bug, are you there? Hello, hello, hello. All right. Hello, hello, hello.
Sorry, my audio cut out for a second.
Right. How much did you hear? Were you listening to what I was saying before?
I missed about 10
Oh, you only missed 10 seconds. Yeah, I couldn't hear you for a while. All right, you're a little bit quieter now. Hopefully that's not too much of an issue.
also now.
Um,
What I was saying is the only real issues I see with the team is ghost matchup, flying matchup, and that's about it.
Ghost matchup with a Darkrai?
So what's your ghost switches?
I mean, I suppose. Wigglytuff?
I mean, yeah, Wigglytuff is there. And I just don't
I mean,
see
to be fair, something like a Gengar with like a Sludge Bomb. But
it. It does kind of smash this team.
but yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, you might have to sack something and then Darkrai. Might have to revenge kill it.
Which
Uh,
isn't really the best bet. The,
uh,
the hazard game is amazing.
yes.
The offense is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Defense is great. The pivot game is great. I don't see much wrong with the team.
Yeah, no, this team, it. I mean, it hits pretty much every mark in every category. I mean, the speed tiers are. I mean, they're just about perfect. I mean, they're really really solid. I don't have anything else to say. I'll let you finish out, and then we can move on.
Only thing that probably could have been better with the speed tiers is if you could have gotten like a Tapu Koko or something with an insanely high speed tier. But
Yeah.
that's not saying much because those mobs are rare. And maybe a bit of a better grounded poison, but Arbok is fine. It's a cheap pickup. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah. Of the 1 point Mons this team could have taken, I think Arbok is probably one of the best options.
Yeah, you just needed the grounded poison option. You don't need a good one. You just need the option.
Hmm.
Versus spikes and stuff like that.
Yep, yep. Um, all right.
Ready for the next team?
All right. Next team, Portland Porygons. You want to take this one? Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, it's only base 90s defenses. Mm-hmm. I, mm-hmm. Well, there's bronze on for the other steel type. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially for 11 points. I mean, you could have got Umbreon for cheaper, and I think that would have been better here. I was gonna say. Yeah, it's missing 7 types. I think this team is almost there as much as there is negative here. I think I think Reggie Lecky, fine pick. I think it's an overrated mon in general, but on this team, I think it's not bad. Um, I think the direction this team should have gone, or could have gone, or probably still could go, is more bulky offense pivot focus, because it has that Zapdos Galar, it has Nagana Dell, which does get U-turn, it has Reggie Alecki, it has Inteleon, and even Dracovish doesn't have any pivoting itself, but it can, come in. Um, I think where it falls apart is really that Roserade Bisharp. I think, you can justify Dracovish. I don't love it here. You can justify Reggie Alecki. I think Bronzong, fairly solid pick here. It's a steel that isn't weak to fighting. It doesn't love taking fighting hits, but um, in your current standing, yeah, it's better than Bisharp. Yeah, I mean, first 3 picks are amazing. I think, especially when you already have Naganadel for those hazards, I don't. If it was Gen 7, I could understand Roserade. I've tried it Gen 8. I love them on. I can't make it work personally. And maybe you can. But something, hear me out here. You drop Roserade, you drop Bisharp, you pick up something like a Zarude plus X. Well, if it wasn't taken, because it would give you arguably a better dark type than Bisharp, a better grass type than Roserade. It would give you a U-turner. I mean, maybe I just love Zarude too much. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, and the other thing is this team has 9 mods, so if they wanted to, they could drop Dracovish, Bisharp, Roserade, and pick up 4 or 5 mods if they wanted to fill out their typing just a little bit more. They aren't forced to replace something. Mm, mm. How many mods did you draft, by the way? How many did you draft, by the way, before you're calling people out? All right. All right. Anyway, continue. Sorry about that. I think Hyper Beam, Explosion. I've run Choice Specs Hyper Beam. It killed Anita Queen. Anyway, continue.
Like even if you just didn't get a dark type and you just picked up a better type earlier, freed up that frontal spot for anything else that your team needs, which is a nice chunk of stuff, it would have been much better. And just maybe got it a grass type nut. You didn't need the second voice, but you have Nagito. It has the spikes. You didn't need it.
Yeah. Anyway,
But it just doesn't do anything on the defensive side. Which is a main flaw.
other thing is you could always grab Roselia. It does. It's not quite as offensive, but in terms of spikes, toxic spikes, you slap a sash on that thing. I mean, it can get the job done for a lot cheaper. I mean, if you have Eviolite, yeah, okay. Um, but yeah, I think this team has a lot of potential. But we should probably be moving on, unless you have one final or a couple final remarks you want to make real quick. All right, next team. I will take this one. I'll take this one. I am glad I'm not in Hoenn. I don't want to play this team. um, Zamazenta crowned, arguably the best, maybe second best Mon in the draft pool, making it down to what? Yeah, it's no how. Yeah, if it was how, I think it would be. I think it would be probably number one. Anyway, um, yeah, Zamazenta crowned, Mandibuzz, Sylveon, and Mega Venusaur for those first four picks. I, I mean, look at the defensive stats down at the bottom. I mean, 107 average defense stat, 101 average special defense stat. I mean, you have running through an HP 86. I mean, look at these average stats: 86, 99, 107, 99, 101, 84, 575 base. You have you have three Mons over base 600 stats. You have one at 600. You have a 580, 510, and two 525s in Carkol, which is better with Eviolite. I forget is what 470 with Eviolite, basically a little bit more. Anyway, um, yeah, Sylveon wish passes into everything. Mandibuzz with Roost. I mean, the hazards are a little weak. I'll say. But even then, I mean, again, on the defense of 180, insane defense. Oh, oh my god, I hate this team. I mean, it has Hoopa Unbound, 160, 170. I, I, I mean, this team makes Zygarde look passive by comparison. Why did I have this at rank 8? I, I feel like it's a better team than that. No. We'll leave it at 8. I'll just say I think this is a better team than I ranked it as. I think this is a top 3 team. I will say, again, the 9 Mon curse. I don't love it. And like we were saying earlier, there are some situations where it's okay, and I think this is one of those situations. I mean, I I think the biggest problem this team will have is I have to leave three things behind, and I want to bring everything. And it's I yeah, because Karkle will want to come a lot, which is forcing out, realistically probably like a Cloister or a Zygarde or maybe Thunderous or I I don't know. Yeah, this team could do just fine, never bringing Cloister, never bringing Hoopa, never bringing Karkle. It, yeah. I'm gonna move on. I need to stop looking at this team. Only thing, three Mons at base 80. Other than that, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'll let you take this one. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I want to get your thoughts on the Mega Houndoom because I don't really understand that pick. I mean, it's a Mega, it's a Fire type, it's a Dark type. I mean, sometimes that's all you want out of a Mon. I mean, to be fair, what else would you spend those 9 points on? Because this team, I mean, it's what else would you spend those 9 points on? Because I think, given 9 points, it's the last pick in them on. They already kind of have everything you're looking for. I mean, I don't know what else you'd spend those points on. Oh, what else would you spend those points on at last pick? Oh no. Hello? Hello, hello, hello? Bug? You there? Alright. I was saying, at last pick, you have 9 points on, or you have 9 points left. What do you spend those on? I feel like this. What? What was that? One more time, I missed that. Yes, yeah, yeah. Last pick, mega slot open. I mean, I think it's a solid pick. Maybe. I think it's solid. I personally love Whimsicott. I have had Whimsicott as my team kill leader before. Um, yeah, I brought it choice specs like 7 weeks in a row, and the first time I brought it, I did it as a joke, um, and it caught them off guard, and it like energy ball killed a specs Tapu Fini, um, and then it it gets crazy coverage for no reason. It has like Shadow Ball, Hurricane, Energy Ball, Moonblast, Psychic. Um, yeah, yeah. It's it's a very good, surprisingly offensive mon because you're looking at it and it's base 77 special attack, and that doesn't seem that strong. But the the best part of I mean, choice specs is a big boost, and especially if they're expecting a support set, you hit them with that offensive thing, they're going to bring something that doesn't have the bulk to deal with it, and it's going to get a kill. Not to mention that his prankster support sets are also really, really solid, and I like that it's not your only fairy. I think a lot of times people draft Whimsicott as their fairy, and it's not a fairy type. It I mean, a dragon will sneeze any coverage move and it'll die. Um, and having Tapu Fini there, a little bit bulkier, a bulky water, I think it's phenomenal. Um, yeah, I like this team a lot.
I just want to ask, most of the time I say not to have have a strong dragon type attacker that does great offense things,
Hmm.
but Paragon Black doesn't really use its dragon stat all that often. So
Yeah,
you just kind of you just have to be careful to not try to outrage a mon that's in this system.
yeah, yep. Plus, it can't use skill shot anyway. So,
Yeah, that's fine. We outrage loss.
all right,
Uh,
I'm ready to move on.
yeah, I'm ready to move on too. So team,
Next up,
I was team this.
all right,
Okay, this team is something. It's not bad. So
two pink blobs that like to teleport.
you got two big blobs, and then you have the Clefable. You have Rashid with Super Strike. That's always a strong start. No one can argue that Rashid with Super Strike is a bad first build pick. That
Well, you can't argue it. It's a losing battle.
yeah, you can argue it because you're not used to it. It's amazing first build pick. I've taken it round one, top of the draft. It's amazing first build pick. And then you immediately sub down to a slow kicker, which I think is great for Rashid. I feel like your second pick on Rashid needs to be an offensive card. Something that can come in and slap things that it cannot, which is a rare thing that can happen. With some things it just can't slap. So you just need something else to just demolish everything else. But it's okay on the slow one. So I'm like, okay, you're gonna get a strong offensive one. This doesn't know you got three things.
Although to be fair, Clefable making it like halfway through round three,
It's insane.
it's insane. I don't blame them for grabbing Clefable there. Plus, they got that Gengar at pick four. Um,
Which is a whole other thing. Gengar shouldn't happen. Round three Clefable shouldn't happen. It should be halfway through.
I think this team, if they could go back, Clefable round two, Gengar round three, Slowbro round four, if it was still there. But you could get Slowking or some other bulky water.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like the utility Slowbro provides to this team is not worth risking like a Clefable or a Gengar. Um, it's great that you got it and you got those other two Mons, but risking that obviously not great. Um,
Honestly, I feel like they should have moved on and received the string of, or received the string of into Gengar, and then just hope to God they get Clefable. If not, probably different fairy type.
yeah, I mean Sylveon usually available round three, especially at midway through the draft.
Yeah, but
Um,
Clefable is just like a super utility bonus fairy type. But at the end of the day, you just want that fairy type that can pivot to your Rashid with those seed sets that are coming in.
hmm
And Sylveon will do that with much confidence.
Yeah. Plus, I believe Sylveon's what? Base 60 speed. It's the same as a teleport against anything offensive.
Really like the Reggie Steel pick here because those first four you have Gengar for offense, yeah. Then the other two are sort of just passes or easy switches, and then there's Reggie Steel, which is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, eventually sinks into traps as a skill set. It doesn't do much, it just sort of sits there in its corner, which I feel like for Shinfu and Gengar, but even that, that's already drafted very bulky, decently passive mons.
I feel like
It
that's
just
fair.
doesn't want to. It just doesn't want a very passive skill set, which is what Reggie Steel is.
Yeah,
I
that's
still like
fair.
that, limited one, the one that can set spikes or has something to do something not so passive.
Like, give an example. Like, what would you take over it?
Starmie. I would have taken Starmie over it.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then look, the Dragon Tip is still available. But you could have, I would have taken Starmie because the spikes question Shifu and Gengar, perfect. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's fair. All right.
But then I got the Jasmine pick as always. It's good. You don't really have any too much argument crap. You have the Omega. It's Sephiroth. Sephiroth is a pivot a bunch. Is the best choice here in my opinion. It's fine if you draft some Hasbro that has more of them, but you don't really have the best Hasbro. One of your Hasbros is Mega Pidgeot. The other is Rotom Frost, which is also weak to rocks, so you're kind of relegated to the roots on it. But it's also got terrible defensive most water types. And then Sobali has no recovery, but Flygon. Flygon is a good one because a good edge weakness for most rocks users are users of Stone Edge and even Earthquake or Rock Blast or whatever. So that's a good one. Other than that, you don't really have that. You have good pitching, but some of the mons just seem like they could have been higher tier picks, but they were for some reason. Like
I
Seedling,
think it's solid though.
Gundam, I think solid.
I
There are
think
some things that aren't
everything
solid.
here except the Registeel and the Rotom Frost I like. I like the Silvally pick. I like the Flygon pick. Mega Pidgeot, but
I don't really like the Mega Pidgeot pick. I'm gonna be honest. I usually love Mega Pidgeot. I don't think it fits this well.
I think it's. Mm,
Also, if you scroll down to the bottom and you look, they're missing a grass and a fire type, which are pretty key types.
yeah, I mean, you have Silvally, which can be either or both. Well, not both. It can't be both.
The fire type though is weak to rocks, which is very true.
Yeah, yeah. I
But
don't
yeah,
know.
I think that team
Yeah. Plus, you have to respect the mascot pick with Rotom Frost.
exactly. That's true. Never mind. I respect the team that's that first place then. Yeah, I think the first four are very strong. It just sort of dips low with the two picks after, and then picks up a bit, and then it drops back down. So, do you have anything else to add to this team, or is that it?
No, no, I think we got most of it.
Sounds good to me.
All
Next
right.
up,
Next up, Jersey Jellison.
I think we went the same as well, just off those first four rolls. But go ahead, you take the floor.
Now, hear me out. I don't like Flareon as a fire type.
Oh no, someone's
I
gonna
don't like Mr. Mime, Galar, at all. I don't love Chestnut. I feel like I don't really. I don't, I don't understand what a lot of these Mons are doing here. I feel like this team was going a very good direction. It's got the mascot pick, but I think Chestnut is the Mon where it turned. I think Chestnut was a fine pick, and then Umbreon, I mean, it helps you deal with ghosts, which you didn't really have before, but I mean, it gives you a wish passer. But then
It's
like,
also it's also a speed momentum sucker.
yeah, that's the thing. Like this team, it screamed momentum to me. You know, with Garchomp, Corviknight. Um, no, not Garchomp. Zeraora, Corviknight, um, Mega Diancie. I mean the amount of baton pass on this team too. I mean Umbreon does get baton pass, I'll admit it, but it feels like it was going in a direction and then they kind of pivoted to fill out those types, which I just a lot of the mons confuse me. But then I will admit, this team offensively, whew, I mean, you got Mega Diancie, you got Garchomp, you got Zeraora. I mean, even um, Flareon, base 130 attack. I mean, even Chestnut, 107. I mean, its speed isn't great, but I mean, you scarf that bad boy or you trick room. It's a little fast for trick room, but you could catch him off guard. Yeah, why not? Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, oh, hang on. You cut out for a second there. What were you saying? Would you say Bisharp? Yeah, no, no, no. It's an it's good. Don't get me wrong. I don't want anything that I said to take away from the fact this is a good team on paper. I just feel like in prep, in the game, there's a couple of things that I would rather have different mons for. That I don't want to I don't want that to take away that this is a good team. I mean, you got Mega Diancie, Zero, or Garchomp. You got Garchomp at pick 3, Corviknight at pick 4. I mean, and then yeah, I don't know. I think it's a really solid team. Yeah, no. I, hmm. I mean, Corviknight. Yeah, 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 that's fair. Yeah, I'm ready to move on. I think I said everything I had to say. Oh, Flareon gets switched too. Forgot about that. Not that you'll probably be using it, but anyway, moving on. Number one team. I I don't know where to start. Yeah, you got it. Ian Grassy train. Hmm.
So I will say you have a bit of trouble breaking one of some of those bulky flyers like Corviknight or something. But it's fine because you have Raikou, which is just a great electric type. It gets Scald for some reason, and then just has Calm Mind and stuff. So I think it's fine. You have Blastoise, which is a great support mod, but also it's a sneaky sweeper and cleaner. You have Mega Mawile, which loves Rillaboom dragging in those steel types and just sort of secretly smashing them with superpower, or knocking off their recovery item if they don't have recovery in a move, or switching into Landorus to smash them. Deoxys Defense for the spikes. That was a great pick. I love Deoxys Defense. And Trick Room, yes, for Mega
And Teleport. Trick Room, Teleport, Mega Mawile.
Trick Room, Teleport, spike stacking. With taunt, with speedy taunt too. For defoggers, I love. I think it's underrated. I don't know why I think it's underrated, because it seems to always get drafted, but I feel like people don't give it the credit.
I mean, it can pressure stall. Not that this team is built for pressure stall, but it can, and that's what's important.
I've seen offensive teams, like super offensive teams, have to rely on DOD just pressure stalling something, and it did it, and it was great.
Yeah. And then, like, having Norvern to fill out that higher end speed tear. Because Raiku's fast at 115, but having something over that 120 threshold is really, really important. Um, and Norvern hitting that at that beautiful 123 speed stat. Really solid. Um,
Just being a pivoting dragon type is even better for the team.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, what do you think of the Monferno pick? I know it's a one pointer. Doesn't really. Other thing, drafting 11 Mons here. I'd love to see it.
Finally, something that isn't 9 points. That isn't 9 Mons.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Monferno is a really good one pointer pick. It's an okay pick. It can go offensive, but even at the same time, it's more sense. Sometimes you just need that strong grass type answer that you just don't have.
Not relying on
And
like a
Monferno
Nervern
has slack
Hurricane or
off.
something.
It's decent. Yeah. And with Eviolite, it's decently bulky. It has recovery, it has pivoting. It can even go like bulky setup sets with bulk up or combine and slack off and stuff. So I think Monferno is a very good one pointer pick, especially for this team, where you're missing that fighting type and you're missing that fire type, and just the type resistances and extra coverage that they can provide is great for this team. I think that was a good one pointer pick.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like the walls on this team are maybe a bit too passive for my liking. Like Deoxys Defense and Lickitung are super passive walls. But I mean, I feel like it's fine because the rest of the team is just so aggressive.
Yeah, that's fair.
I like the team. I like it. There's a reason it's number one. It's kind of scary.
The only weakness this team has, being that ground type, having Rillaboom, grassy terrain. I mean, it's a beautiful thing to see.
I will say, your fairy type switching is a Mega Mawile. Not the best fairy type switching.
Yeah.
Also, your dragon type switching is a Mega Mawile because it has both your steel and your fairy type. Not the best thing to have. But honestly, it's fine.
Yeah.
You have a Deoxys. That is the best neutral hit taker in the game. I think you're fine.
Yeah, I think this team, I mean, it's a thing of beauty.
It is. Love it. It's a great team.
All right. I'm ready to move on.
Yeah, I'm ready to move on too.
Next up, we have Melbourne Magnezone. I'll take this one to start.
Yep.
Torn T. I never know how to feel about Torn T.
It's decent.
It was the first Mon I ever drafted, and it let me down. And then I realized I was using it the wrong way, and now I think it's kind of good. But first pick, it usually doesn't make it to a second round pick, but I don't like it as a first round pick. I mean, it's the best bulky pivot in the game, um, in my opinion. I mean, being weak to rocks isn't great being a bulky pivot, but you know, it comes in, takes 25 on rocks, switches out, gains 33, is back to full. Um, yeah, I mean, it pairs incredibly well with Megalopoly, pivoting wise. Um, but that's kind of the end of the pivoting on the team. There's Serena with U-turn, and there's um, Electabuzz with Volt Switch, or Teleport. I didn't know it got Teleport. And then Latios with Baton Pass. But Volcanion,
I will say though,
yeah, go ahead.
Baton Pass Latios plus U-turn Lopunny is a very deadly combo.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I just think a lot of the offensive things here could use some more momentum gaining things. Um, really, just I think a better electric type is the only thing I would change about this team, and everything else is there that I'm looking for.
I will say, round 5 Slurpuff caught me off guard so hard.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think better electric type is really the only thing I feel like you could drop. I'm trying to think what they could drop down to get a better electric type.
I would say
You want to keep
Mamoswine.
I was gonna say either Mamoswine or you can drop down Drapion if you can find a better grounded poison or dark type. But I don't think you can at this point because it's race period and they're all gone if they're good. So I think you can drop down Mamoswine. You have a better electric type and either probably a ground type, a better ground type.
Yeah, I mean that would give you 16
I will also
points.
say that
Yeah, go ahead.
I will also say their ground type switching is a Serena and a Latios, so I'm not very happy about that, but it's fine. Oh wait, they have a Torn. Never mind, it's fine. Go ahead. Don't listen to me.
Yeah, if you had 16 points to get an electric and a ground, I feel like there could be a better combo than Mamoswine Electabuzz, but obviously I think it's solid as it is. Um,
I mean, you can't really complain about a Mamoswine. You can complain about a Electabuzz. A Mamoswine is a Mamoswine at the end of the day.
yeah, yeah, I, yeah. That's all I had to say. I don't have a ton to say. If you wanna close this out.
No, I don't really have much else to say. I'm trying to look for something. Oh, you have double bulky water types, which is fine, but it's just something I felt I should point out.
Volcanion is a
It doesn't.
bulky water. I
Look
guess.
at its bulk. 80, 120, 90.
God damn. It's a bulky water with 130 special attack.
It is. It is. I was just saying bulky because do you see its bulk?
Yeah. Man, if they
Its bulk.
swapped that thing's attack and speed, ooh,
Oh, that would be me. That would be a mess.
oh, it
110 speed on that special attack set.
80 HP, 120 defense, 130 special attack, 90 special defense, and 110 speed. Oh man.
We should convince NPBA to make the next Ori division nature swap so that Volcanion can have 110 base speed.
Yes.
It'll be the water fire type Latios, except actually bulky.
Yeah. Anyway, that was just that was a tangent and a half. All right. Moving on.
Back to the next team because this team's good and we discussed it already.
I
Next team.
love this team. This is how I want to draft every single time. Does it work out? No, but I like it. Does just me trying to draft like this work out? Not this team. That I was anyway. Take it
I
away.
think this team. I was going to say I think this team can 100% work out. You
Mm-hmm.
took Coco, one of the best answers to Coco. So great start. You took Coco with one of the best, if not the best, spike setters you could have gotten. You got Ferrothorn. You got Coco with the U-turn. You got Hydreigon with the U-turn in the next set, which is I always am like, come on, Hydreigon dropped to round 3, and it drops to round 3, and as soon as it gets back to me, someone takes it. And I'm so mad. I was so mad here, but it's so perfect here. It's a great pairing with Tapu Koko, and it loves the spikes and stealth rogue support Ferrothorn provides. It's such a great fit here. I love it. Mega Aerodactyl, I will say, is a bit funky, but it's a Mega Aerodactyl. I can't complain about it. It's amazing. I love it. I getting smashed by this thing, though I have a ground type. I don't know how that works, but it does.
I mean, it gives you a solid speed tier above Tapu Koko, which is not the easiest thing to do.
It's above. I think it's above Mega Beedrill even, which is very tricky to do.
Yeah,
I mean,
Mega
Mega
Beedrill's
Beedrill
what,
isn't a
45, 145?
I think so, but like it's not a good model, but it's a great comparison. It
I,
gives you a
whoa,
mod fat,
whoa,
right?
whoa. Let's not be hasty here.
Okay, I'm coming from someone who actually plays ladder, and that thing is unranked in UU. Anyways, Mega Aerodactyl gives you something that can revenge kill Dragapult without having to be a Scarfer, which is such a good thing to have. I'm not saying you'll need that Scarfer, because the next mod is Vaporeon, a notoriously specially bulky mod. But, like, it's just amazing.
I want to
So, yeah,
say
the next,
sleeper pick Hitmonlee.
I agree.
Base 120 attack, unburden. That thing is a monster. I mean, you can run. I what?
You have me in the voice code with you, and you're using Unburdened Hitmonlee. It has Reckless High Jump Kick right there.
Whoa! No.
Yes.
You get lucky with unburden, and then you're fast, and you don't take recoil. Hmm?
No, 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 no.
Or is Reckless the boost?
Reckless Choice Band High Jump Kick.
Wait, what does Reckless do? Does Reckless give the boost, or is that the one where you don't take recoil?
No, it gives the boost. You don't even have to take the. You don't even have to take the recoil. It just gives it a boost. It's a free boost on a 130 base power stab off of 120 attack.
Alright. Alright, I've been convinced.
There we go.
But
Anyways,
I still think unburden Tapu Koko as an option to give you
yeah, they
something.
do have that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I didn't even notice that. I thought you were talking about normal gym fake out or like
Oh,
Viper.
no. I was talking like Electric Seed Tapu Koko. Or not Electric Seed Tapu Koko, Electric Seed and Hitmonlee with Tapu Koko.
Then yeah, I think that's a great option to just have. It's like a mini Hawlucha, except it can actually kill Hawlucha sucks.
Yeah, I had it in a doubles league one time with a Tapu Bulu, and it went crazy. I mean, I think it was my kill leader above a Celesteela. Um,
Ow.
I,
First the Whimsicott, and now the Hitmonlee above a Celesteela. What
I,
is happening?
I don't know. It was anyway. Continuing.
Yes, tangents. Alright, Vaporeon set Scorch, Vaporeon and Scorch pair super well with Ferrothorn in my opinion. Scorch. This gets coverage it shouldn't get.
Mm-hmm.
Why does it get Power Whip knockoff? I think it gets a ground move too. Like, what is up with this mod? It gets Coil. It's pretty bulky. I mean, its typing isn't the best, but it's not the worst, as it has Flash Fire.
Yeah, I mean the Firewater Grass Core here is insane.
It is. Look at Scorch to go, ew, 6-point mod bad, but I think it works really well here. And I think Scorch should not be 6 points. I think it could easily be 7.
Hot take there. Whoa.
I think it could easily be a point higher. No, I've honestly drafted Scorch for 8 points before, and I'm sad about it, but it did so much work.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, Meloetta, I will say, I hate Meloetta. I hate it so much.
Mm-hmm.
I've drafted it several times thinking, hey, this is a cool mod. It's never done anything. I've never brought it. I did bring it sometimes, and it just didn't do anything. Ever.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Maybe I'm using it wrong. Maybe I'm bad at the game. Those are two very viable options, but it's just, I don't like it as a mod. How do you feel about Meloetta on this team?
I don't. I Meloetta is my I forget it exists Pokemon, and it.
Why is it 10 points too? Why is it 10 points?
I don't know why it's expensive. I don't know what it does. It gets U-turn.
Okay, I will say one good thing about Meloetta is you see that special defense stat, 100 HP, 128 to death. That's pretty good, but no recovery.
Yeah, I mean a knockoff would hurt, but
Yeah, look at that paper thin defenses.
I mean even
Anyway,
100 attacks or 100 HP is not. Anyway, I think the worst part about this team is the Meloetta, and then that speed gap of 65 to 87, which it really isn't that big of a deal unless you were going up against like a mega Heracross.
Yeah.
But
But even if you're going up against a mega, oh my god, mega Heracross actually isn't that bad. I take it back.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I think the team looks great. I think the one big thing is Meloetta, and yeah, Meloetta.
I think it's a fantastic team.
I think it's great. I think it could have easily been higher, but the other teams that we put it that were in top three were above it. So I agree with the placing on it. I think it's a great team. Yeah, I think we can move on. Actually, I will say the defogging isn't the best. You rely on Tapu Koko, Mega Hero, and Hydreigon. Next team.
You want to take this one, or you want me to grab it? I've
The last one.
okay. I'll get this one. Now,
Okay, you get this
I believe I had a conversation with this coach like halfway through the draft after they got like really badly sniped, and they were making like a post draft grace plan. And I think the plan was to go Mega Camerupt, which I hate to say it, but I think it was a better plan because I mean I don't. I'll start off with the positives. Tyranitar Excadrill, monster like semi small core. Um, the Firewater Grass core.
I love that Firewater
It,
Grass core.
Slowking and Fernape Rotomo, extremely solid. Fairy Dragon Steel core. Tapu Lele. If the worst part about your Fairy Dragon Steel core is a Tapu Lele, it's a pretty solid Fairy Dragon Steel core. Um, the speed tiers. 110 is your fastest being Tauros. Little concerning, not the end of the world. Um, you got the rockers. Um, yeah, I think this team is lacking one superstar. I think it's missing, I don't know what exactly, but some 17, 18, 19 point mon that's going to come and just destroy. I mean, Tyranitar can do it, Excadrill can do it, Dragonite can do it, Tapu Lele can do it, but
But you don't want that many can.
you want something that will do it no matter what. You want like a Kyurem Black or like a um, I'm trying to think. I can't even like a Zamazenta, like something like that. Obviously, you're not getting Zamazenta this late in the draft, but um,
Yeah.
something of that caliber. Um,
To be fair, Mega Gallade was open. I just want to point that out. Mega Gallade was open at that first round pick in this point in the draft.
I think Megalade is cringe, but that's just me.
Be quiet right now.
I love Tauros. Fantastic mon. I think I think the low tiers on this team, Haunter, Tauros, great picks. Um, for 6 points, um, you get a poison type, a ghost type, and a normal type. You get Intimidate. On Tauros, you can run Sheer Force, Life Orb, Shenanigans. I wouldn't. I mean, it's okay, but I feel like this is a Trick Room team with no Trick Room sweepers.
I feel like it could have gone more of a speedy way.
I feel like it could go either way, and it went neither. Although, to be fair, Excadrill can be fast. Anyway. It's
You know what I'm gonna say?
hmm
I feel like this team, and usually I say this as a joke, but I feel like this team actually could have supported Comfy really well. Like I say it as a joke a bunch of the time, just because like last season in Sinnoh, I demolished Sinnoh with a Comfy, but I feel like it actually could have supported it really well.
All right. Yeah.
Because cloaking with the future sight and inverting being just an amazing partner with really any fairy type of pivoting, and having a fairy type of pivoting is, I think, would have been great here.
Yeah. You know what? I can respect that. I think Comfy's gone, right?
It was gone later in the draft, though. It was picked, what, round
7, 6,
round 8.
8.
It was picked round, so it was open. pretty
I don't know.
freaky for most crap.
Even though this team is at rank 14, I don't think it's a bad team by any means. I think it's very close to good, and it absolutely has the potential in any given matchup to be absolutely terrifying. I mean, Infernape, Tyranitar, Excadrill, Dragonite, Tapu Lele, Slowking. You throwing Rotom-Mow over one of those, or Tauros. I mean, it has the options of being just absolutely terrifying, and that it's going to be. I feel like it's more difficult than it has to be able to find those ways to be that terrifying. But that's really all I have to say about this team.
Also, I want to point out something for the coach. Smoking has 100 base special attack, and you have it with a Psychic Surge on. I'd better see you bring choice specs expanding for Smoking at least one time.
Yeah.
I want to see it. Anyways, yeah, I think the team's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think them not having. So, you can have no Mega in draft, but it's a big downgrade unless literally every good one was taken. But I feel like even just like a mediocre
Or
Mega.
just the Mons you have are better than a Mega. And
Yeah.
you can make that argument for most of these, but I don't know what Porygon 2 does here when you have Slowking.
Yeah.
I mean, you could grab, is Mega Main still available? I mean, this team.
No.
Oh, wait, no, there's Rotom-Mow. You don't need Mega Man. Trying to think what kind of Mega you could. You could grab Mega Heracross just as like a. Like you could.
Honestly, I was thinking Mega Glalie would have been nice here over
Mega
Porygon.
Glalie.
That's the spikes.
Mega Glalie could be good. Mega Glalie, underrated mon. Actually, I had Mega Glalie on my team I was talking about earlier. That Tapu Bulu, Celesteela, Hitmonlee team. I had Mega Glade, and it popped off. It was not my kill leader. I think it went neutral in kills, but it was yeah. Anyway, enough of that tangent. I'm ready to move on if you are.
Yes, I am.
All right. Next up,
This one.
number 2 team.
Direct. You want to start with this team, or you took the last one. This is my team.
Yeah, no, I'll let you go. I'll let you go.
Thank you. This is my team. So I don't know why Will put it at 15. All right, just so you guys know, I had nothing to do with the ranking. I'm too lazy.
What? Which team are you looking at?
I'm looking at the Green Bay Pangoras.
We're on the Dallas Darkrai.
That's okay. I clicked twice by accident. All right, Mega Scissor, Latias, Rotom Wash. I think wait a minute. This team's actually pretty. I didn't look at this one before. Mega Scissor, Latias, Rotom Wash, Crocodile, Diancie, Decidueye. That's just a row of 6 picks that looks like something I would draft, and I love it. It's Mega Scissor with Latias is such a great defensive dragon steel core, and I love it. And then you just throw on a Diancie, and oh my god, that is a bulky fairy dragon steel core.
Yeah.
I love it. Rotom Wash plus Scizor is the Covenant Gen 5 core. And then you slap on the Crocodile. And it's amazing.
Mega Scissor? Gen 5?
No, Scizor plus Rotom Wash, because technically their coverage, like just their stabs alone, cover every type.
Yeah, especially in. Oh god, I'm getting nightmares to 2012 VGC.
I'm getting nightmares to black and white OU.
True. Anyway, continue.
But yeah, Mega Scissor, Latias, Rotom Wash, Crocodile, Diancie, Decidueye. I think that's an amazing start. Miltank, honestly, good normal type. You had a bit of a dark type weakness because Crocodile doesn't have as matchup against just repeatedly switching in. So Miltank fills that up. And it's just good mod. Talonflame, you need the fire type. You need the flying type just because it's a flying type. So good pick. Technically, you didn't really need the water type, but I feel it's less of a water type here and more of just another sort of removal. It's a
I
spinner.
think the best thing Tentacruel does is it allows Rotom Wash to be more offensive if it wants to, and you can still have a bulky water.
I was going to say that it allows Tentacruel. I was going to say that Rotom Wash allows Tentacruel to go more offensive.
True. Yeah.
Offensive.
I ran an offensive Tentacruel week 1. It didn't enter the field, but I brought a setup, rapid spin, offensive tentacruel.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think the weakest thing about this team is Talon Flame. I've used it. It's my mascot. I love it. It's my favorite bird. It's one of my favorite fire types. I haven't been able to make it work in draft, and I really want it to work.
I think the only weak part of this team really is that Avalon.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
I
You
think the
arguing
team.
with a 184 defense stat? What are you gonna do to the table?
I think the team is god awful. You cannot tell me otherwise. That's that I could breathe on it and it would crumble.
Yeah, but it has sturdy.
I could breathe on it twice and it would crumble.
Or you could just use Mega Heracross, Skill Link, Arm Thrust, get through that sturdy.
That is very true.
Actually, I'm curious how much that would do as like an aside. I'll look at that later.
It eats up a choice band's Epto-Square close combat for days. Anyways, I think the team's very solid. I got smashed by it because I don't know. I just
L.
didn't plan. I didn't plan for it being nearly as bulky as it was, and I don't know why. I have no idea why.
You didn't expect a team with Diancie, Latios, Mega Scizor to be bulky? Miltank, Avalon,
Honestly,
Tentacle?
I thought I could break it just fine. Turns out I couldn't break it just fine.
Alright, yeah. I love this team.
Yeah,
This is,
I love it.
yeah. I'm ready to move on.
It deserves its number 2 spot. I love it. Anyways, this is the team I was talking about. You can have this one for a second.
I don't like it.
Tell me why you put the Mega Gallade, Celesteela, Como, Rotom Heat, Florges, Swampert, the Hellmai's team at number 15.
Hang on, I'm getting there.
You getting there? You getting there? You gotta build up. Alright.
Jinx.
Is that literally the reason?
Yeah. Okay, no. I thought of the actual reason. Jinx, Florges, Badmon.
No.
No? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes?
No. It's a budget Sylveon.
It's that's insulting to Sylveon.
No, Florges is a great one. Look at its defense stat. Its defense stat is so great.
I mean, should this team be at 15? No. But I have a number of problems with this team. First of all, hazards. You only have Swampert. If you run Como Stealth Rock, more power to you. But I would not. I don't have the balls to do it, honestly. Swampert, it's a solid rocker, but it's a very predictable rocker in the same way. Your hazard removal, Rotom Heat, it's a surprisingly solid defogger. I think Delmai's great option. Florges, you really don't want to have to use defog. You really want to be, wishing and just being bulky and annoying in that especially offensive or defensive um, way that it can be so well. Staraptor, you're not clicking defog on a Staraptor. All right, so you really have one good remover, one okay remover depending on the matchup, but relegating Rotom Heat to be a remover, not my thing. Um, yeah, no, Delmai's absolutely great. I think Delmai's fantastic pick on this team. Gives you the needed ghost type, gives you the needed grass type. It can be offensive, it can be bulky, maybe, if you need it to be. But three biggest things here are hazards, removal, jinx. I rest my case. Should it be a 15? No. Would I put it higher now that I'm looking at it again? Yeah, that's on me.
My biggest My biggest pet peeves with this team is Jinx hazards. I will agree on the Jinx hazard removal side. And I usually love Florges, but not as the main fighting type switcher.
Yeah.
The Helmize is a fighting type switcher, but most of them get knockoff. Most of them get knockoff.
Yeah, knockoff, ice punch, fire punch. They get something.
They get dumber stuff. They get U-turn, and the Helmize is really the best taker because it goes neutral to it. But I'm gonna stop talking about that. Florges is the main fighting switcher here. You can all see that. It's the fairy type.
Most of those fighting moves are going to be physical.
They're going to be physical most of the time. Most of them have poison or steel coverage. Now, physical dragons on this team, you have a Celesteal on. But if that's relegated to be Death, that thing's dropping. And so just even with Death investment, isn't really all that great of a thing to just eat physical hits. What I will say about Florges that I really like is people don't notice that it has 112 special attack stat.
Yeah.
And Predator defensive. And I hadn't, now this was in almost any ability draft, but it still was, and I didn't notice that. So I just brought choice specs, Florges, and demolished them. Because they weren't ready for it. They kept bringing it, they kept staying in on it. Frail resists, and they just got blown back, and it was amazing.
Yeah, it's got that whimsicott aspect to it.
Yeah, except this one can actually pack a huge punch. And then I will say, it only gets fairy type coverage.
It gets mystical fire.
Wait, what?
Does it?
No.
I'm like 90% sure it does.
We're pausing the PRs for a second because we're curious about this. Hold up. Florges.
I feel like I've run mystical fire before.
It doesn't. You want to hear the coverage that it gets? Let's see this. Let's see this. Special coverage. Highest power. It gets grass coverage. That's it.
No, it must get mystical fire.
No. Fairies only started getting mystical fire in Gen 8. It's not in Gen 8.
Yeah, my biggest problem with Florges is every time I use it, I wish I had Sylveon.
I wish I had. Yeah, I'll say Sylveon.
Or Clefable. Or you gonna say Comfey?
Hell, Togekiss.
Yeah, with Heat Wave.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Not missing accuracy.
I'm done with this team if you want to move on.
Yep, done.
Oh. Alright, you want to take this one?
I'm happy to take this one. Wait, before we move on, does Cinderace get U-turn and Libero?
No. It can be U-turn no Libero or Libero no U-turn.
Okay, this team sucks. I'm sorry to say it. I forgot when I was looking at this team in my prep doc, because that's where I got all these images for. I was looking at it and I was like, okay, this team, it's bad looking, but that Cinderace might be able to carry. But I completely forgot that you can't run U-turn and Libero on it, and I don't think it's good at all. It has some redeeming qualities. It has that Zapdos. It has Tangrowth. It has Mega Gyarados. Low-Bro Galar is good. It has Nihilego, but none of them seem to have any synergy at all.
Yep.
Cinderace is a very. I hate it unless it has Libero, and not being able to run U-turn if you want to make it actually good Mon, it's just so bad for this team because it's already lacking momentum. Your two momentum users are Zapdos
and Zapdos.
Zapdos and Cinderace. But Cinderace isn't going to be running U-turn because you want that Libero bulk.
You could run Baton Pass.
Oh my god, they didn't ban Baton Pass on it. That's amazing. Wait, never mind. The team could be good still. Actually, no.
It's still bad.
No, I take it back.
Okay, it's not bad. I don't want to. It's not bad on its own, but on a team like this where it doesn't have the momentum it really craves, it hurts.
My biggest pet peeve with the team is I don't see much offensive synergy anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Nowhere. Zapdos struggles with bulky grounds, and your bulky ground killer is a Tangrowth, which
or a Mega Gyarados.
I was gonna get to that. Tangrowth, yeah, you can go offensive. Has one and special attack, but it's
Or
your
you
bulky.
run Moxie Gyarados, kill it, Mega Evolve. Now you're cranking.
No, because here's the thing. You know how easy it is to wall a Mega Gyarados if it has to come in so many times on a bulky ground type before it megas, because they can just set up rocks, and then you sort of force it to mega, or else you can't really come back in on it, because you can't take that Stone Edge, or even that weak hit, or like that U-turn if it's Flygon or Gliscor or Landorus or something.
Nice
And if
try.
they're neutral to water, you just can't kill them. Basically, you have to rely on Tangrowth, and that's a bulky mod that has no pivoting. You like everywhere I go with this team, like the offensive synergy would be there if you had some pivoting.
hmm
I will admit that the offensive synergy is so close to being there, but you just have to make so many hard switches and so many doubles and so many projections for it to actually come together.
I've
And I
said it
just don't.
before. I'll say it again. I think dropping Tangrowth, picking up Zarude, getting some of that momentum, still a bulky grass. That would have. I made this team like 10 times better.
Hell, I will give you my Celebi.
Is that quoted, locked in?
I think the team's good. I don't have much. Well, not good. I think my description on it was how I felt, so I think my description on it was good.
It's
But
not
uh,
bad. It just it.
I
I
don't.
think it'll struggle in a lot of matchups
I don't
because
like
of
it
that
at
lack of
all.
momentum.
I still don't like it. I don't know. It just
It's
it
not
has.
how I like to draft and I like to play, and that doesn't mean that it can't work. It's that it feels very unnatural to me when I'm looking at it. Um,
Yeah, like that second half, that Hitmontop and pass just looks so out of place.
Something like an Incineroar could have been good on this team
I think that would have been great.
because it's a double fire type. It's Cinderace running Libero. It's not a real fire type. Um,
Yeah,
um,
but yeah, I think I've said everything I have to say on this team.
all right, yeah. Last team. This is Bug's team, so I'll cover it really quickly.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
just gonna
yeah, it's a
shoot
bad
because
team.
it is a very bad team. I hate it.
You know
Garbage
the,
team.
the pivoting, it's almost there. Lando. Okay, I can't hate Lando. Lando T, in my opinion, the best mon in draft, bar none. You could say Nagana though. You could say Zamazenta Crown. You could say Ash Greninja. My favorite, the most versatile. It can be offensive. It can be defensive. It can be a pivot. It can be a setup sweeper. It can be just a raw breaker. I mean, it can be physical. It can be special. You can run Calm Mind on this thing. I mean, it gets Sludge Wave, Grass Knot. I mean, it is
I
my
forget. Oh my.
it is my favorite mon to use. I mean, you could run Choice Band Explosion if you wanted to. It can be a stealth rocker. I didn't even mention that. It could be a remover if you wanted it to do that. It can do anything. Not to mention the Intimidate bulky U-turn. It's a solid speed tier at 91. Not the fastest, not the slowest. You want to set up with this thing? It's got rock polish. You can do rock polish, sword stance, superpower, earthquake. It cleans through teams. You could. I, I, I gotta stop. Pairing this thing with a really fast, really nice Volt Switcher and Mega Manectric. I think that's a great pick. I mean, you got Flip Turn and Keldeo. Obviously, two other U turns in Celebi and Moltres. And then Arcanine. I love Arcanine. It has that teleport. Um, I believe, yeah, it's Arcanine that has teleport. Um,
Yeah.
the pivoting is all there. Not to mention the offenses of this team. You've got Lando, 145. Pick two, Curem, 130 attack, 130 special attack. Mega Manectric, 135 special attack. Keldeo, 129 special attack. Aegislash, 140, 140. Moltres Galar, I mean, it falls off a little bit. But Arcanine, I like bulky Arcanine a lot, but it can also be a fan, not to mention double Intimidate with Lando. I didn't even notice that before. Um, it can be offensive with 110. I mean, Weezing Galar, I don't love it as a fairy type. I'm being honest. Um, I love regular Weezing. I love the design of Weezing Galar. I've never tried it, and I don't really get it in theory, but in practice, it can definitely. I mean, it can work out. The one problem I have holding this team back is the hazard setting. Like I said, Lando T, the most versatile, the best Mon in draft. If you want it to be able to be that versatile, you need other rockers. And Celebi, it gets rocks, but it's not the greatest rock setter, if I'm being honest.
Drafted a team without good hazard setting. It's so sad that I drafted two spike centers in one league that I'm in. So it's quite common.
Yeah, I mean it's a really solid team, and that's all I have to say about it. If you want to give some touches on it, anything that I missed that you might have, or want to leak some secrets for what you see.
Yeah, I don't have anything to say. I feel like you covered it. I think the big thing is the hazard setting, which is detrimental on such an offensive team.
And then no Wish Passer, which, it's not a big deal. I mean, you have Morning Sun Arcanine, you have Roost. No, Moltres does not get Roost. You have Roost Kyurem, Recover on Celebi, and Synthesis. It's a grass type that doesn't rely on Synthesis as its recovery, which is really nice. But with that, that's everything I had to say about this team. Moving in one slide ahead, here's the final order of all of our teams. There are a couple teams, looking back, talking about this, I would adjust. Um, but overall, I would say all of the teams were really solid. I mean, there were teams, yeah, I mean,
There were some teams that did fall behind a little bit. Like, I feel like the last place team did fall behind by a nice bit. But for the most part, the teams are pretty close.
yeah, I mean, you could make the argument any team 1 through 7, 1 through 8 is the best team, or at least a top three team. And you could make the argument with any team 9 through like 13 that they're a top five team. Um, Not to say that the teams below that are bad necessarily, but yeah, that's I don't really have any other closing notes. You have anything to say?
Well, I just have like I don't have anything else really to say. I will say that if Comfy is not the kill leader of that person's team, I'm going to be very sad. But other than that, I have nothing else to say. We covered everything.
All right. Well, thank you, Bug, for joining me. This was a blast.
This was fun.
Just want to say good luck to everybody. I know these PRs were a little bit late coming after the end of week 1. We apologize for that. Um, but I wish everyone an excellent next 8 weeks, and I cannot wait to see who makes it to playoffs and ultimately wins this thing.
Adios.
See ya.